Why are we talking about the customer? Do you think we're stupid? We know it's about the customer. Customer experience is customer service. Or the customer is always right. Or the customer is king. Or this is all about feelings. Why are you talking about an experience? Stop talking about the feelings and tell me how to do my stupid job. That might be what you're thinking. But what I want you to understand, first and foremost, is this is the true definition of a customer. It's not somebody that walks in and hands you a bunch of money and says, hey, I want your service or I want your product. It is an individual who invests in you because of your investment in them. It is a mutual investment. It is not about money. In our world today, I think we've gotten too caught up in the idea that a customer is all about money. It's not. In pharmacy, it's not the person that walks into your pharmacy. They're investing in you. They're trusting you because you're investing in them and giving them the right product and everything that you do. So that's the definition of a customer. And when you look at a customer this way, you could start looking at friends this way. Now, please don't call your friends customers. Please don't do that. That's just going to be weird. But you can look at friends this way. You can look at parents this way because they're investing in you and you're investing in them. It's a mutual beneficial, mutual investment relationship. I think the reason why we fail so many times on treating people with value is we're asking, what can they do for me? Instead of not stopping and going, what can I do for them? Because I know they're going to invest in me. So that's the definition of a customer. So a customer experience, what are we even trying to do? We're trying to get you to understand that it takes time to develop a customer experience approach. And we're going to go through that. But it's important that you understand this. Customer service is not customer experience. A customer experience is something that is shared. It's something that the word experience is there. Service is they just get served. Experience is they experience it. So a customer experience is shared experiences. It's memorable experiences. It's experiences sometimes that you as the provider start the game and then get out of it. That's what it is. So what we want to make sure you understand is what's this definition? It's the organization's ongoing effort to know and live the mission. Stop there. What did we talk about last week? Mission driven, right? Everything starts and ends with mission, even in your own personal life. If my life right now with my family is not about me loving them and caring for them and spending time with them, and I'm just going, well, what's new today? Where can I go? What business trip can I go on? I'm not serving my family, and that's not the mission. So first of all, it's mission driven. So the organization's ongoing effort to know and live their mission, but also to know, educate, and serve their customers. So let's break this down. Ongoing, the word ongoing is in there because it's an approach. It's something that never ends. You might go, man, I got great customer experience right now at Renova. We kick it and we're awesome. But the whole idea is you can't act like you've arrived. It's not an arrival process. It's a journey. It's the whole idea. It's ongoing. You're always asking the question, what does that customer need from me? What do they want from me? What are their attitudes? What are their perceptions of me? And then the next word is it's the effort. It's the idea that it's all about the effort. It's not about the result. You can't control how a customer reacts to you. There are about 60 of you in this room. Some of you in this room are thinking one thing. Some of you in this room are thinking another. Others are this. We could have 60 different opinions in this room. So if you look at customer experiences, say, if we do X, they will do Y, you're missing it. Because everybody's an individual. Then it's mission driven. That's what keeps it consistent, and it's customer focused. So let's break it down a little bit. Here's the ethos. An ethos is just shared beliefs. That's all it is. It's shared beliefs and characteristics that are identifiable. So if you want to be somebody that really cares for people, this will identify you. So first and foremost, it's mission driven and it's customer focused. All right, so let's break that down. Last week we talked about that you got to know the mission. You got to know it with your head. You got to accept it with your heart. and then you got to own it, and you got to live it. Same thing in everything that you do, with every job that you have. If you're an organization, you've got to know your purpose. You've got to live your purpose, and then you got to accept your purpose, and then you got to live your purpose. If you can't do that, you will not provide an experience for your members or for the people that come to your events or your programs or your services. At Cedarville, if we don't know our mission, that it's exceptional education, intentional discipleship, grounded in God's Word, if I don't accept that, then the programs that I provide might not ever meet that, then what's the purpose of the mission? Then I'm doing my own thing, and Aaron Cook's doing his own thing, and Mindy May's doing her own thing, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then what you have is an organization that's not consistent. So here comes a customer, somebody who's investing. They're getting one thing from me, another thing from Aaron, another thing from Mindy, and they don't know where they exist or where they stand. So let's look where we're going to spend most of our time this morning. Customer focus. You got to know the customer. What I mean by that is you've got to have an awareness. One of the first things my wife sent me after we've met several times, but one of the first things that Danielle sent me after she visited Cedarville to visit her sisters was a card with a picture of her in it. And I don't know about any other guy in this room, but that picture went everywhere with me. That card was the first. I still have that card. That card went everywhere with me, and I had that picture, and I studied that picture, and I wanted to know Danielle, and I know that's not how you get to know somebody, but I knew that picture. I don't know where that picture is now. I need to find it, but I knew that picture. And that's what I'm asking you to do right now with the customer, with your friends, with your parents, with people that you serve, people in your org, people in your group. You've got to know their needs. Now think about that. A need is not something you're going to come out and say, hey, I really need this, but it's something that you perceive in having conversations with people. With my son, my oldest, I know that he needs time with me. He's not going to walk up and go as a 12-year-old, hey, Dad, can I spend time with you? But I know that he needs that. My youngest just wants to be a goof, and he just wants to have fun and just laugh. He doesn't really care what he does. My daughter wants to play sports, so I know their needs. They're never going to come out and say that, but I know their needs. Their wants, they're going to tell me their wants. Hey, Dad, I want this. Hey, Dad, I want this. Hey, Dad, I want this. So the needs of a customer, you're going to have to perceive from conversation. A want, you just got to listen. They're going to tell you that they're going to act in a certain way. They're going to respond when you do something. You're like, that's what they want. I get it. Then what are their attitudes? Everybody has an attitude, not meaning bad. It's not like the A team with bad attitude, B.A. Baracus. But the whole idea is, it's the idea that everybody has an attitude, so I want to know their attitude towards me. So when I'm with Keegan, I want to know his attitude right now. He's sick right now, so I'm like, okay, his attitude right now is, why does everybody keep asking me to do stuff? Okay, I need to know that. And then I need to know his perceptions, which are his thoughts. So if I can get that, that's the picture of my customer. The needs, the attitude, the needs, the wants, the attitudes, and the perception. And if I can know that, I can serve the customer. Now, there are 4,000 students at Cedarville. And we've done this in our group for the students. We've said, okay, what do they need? What do they want? What are their attitudes? What are their perceptions? And guess what? They're all over the place, but we've generalized it. So sometimes, as a group, you might have to generalize this. So SAA with alumni, you can't go and say, okay, what is every alumni on our 27,000 or whatever thousand we have? What are their needs, their wants, their attitudes, and their perceptions? You're going to have to generalize that. And 9 times out of 10, you're pretty close. And you can adjust that. So that's knowing the customer. Oh, educating the customer. This is the part that we miss. We usually jump to serving the customer because it's all about service, right? You hear about customer experience, the first thing you think about is service. It's not about service, it's about the experience. You're providing opportunities for them. So for me, as a former teacher, I used to have to do lesson plans when I taught in high school. And one of the things that I had to do in lesson plans was decide what are the desired outcomes of that class. So what are the desired outcomes from the customer? So if I know that your needs are this, your wants are this, your attitudes are this, and your perceptions are this, how do I want you to think? How do I want you to feel? How do I want you to respond? Heart, our mind, heart, action. So we ask that, and that's an approach. So I have that lesson plan before I even go and deal with the customer. So before I even go into John Wood's office to give him a report, I know what he needs, I know what he wants, I know his attitudes, I know his perceptions, or at least I think I do. And I know now what I want him to think, feel, and respond because of that meeting. And you're like, man, that takes a lot of time. I can do that in about 2 to 3 minutes. I don't overthink it. But when I go into John's office, because he's my customer, because he invests in me, because I invest in him, I want to be prepared. And when I do that, I'm actually allowing John to be a part of that meeting instead of it just being me reporting to John. Now think about that in an org event. What if you took the time to think, hey, what is this Smash Bros org? They're doing an event soon. What do they need from us? What are their wants? What are their attitudes about us? What are their perceptions? That's going to change your marketing. And then what do you want them to think, feel, and respond because of your marketing and because of the event? Well, I want them to think this. I want them to feel this way. And I want them to respond in this way. Now for that org, they're very intentional instead of just going, okay, and I'm not saying they do this, let me just throw some PlayStations up and let's just have a Smash Bros tournament. What if we did that for an alt night? What if we did that at Renova? What if we did that in SGA? On and on and on and on and on. You educate people by getting them involved. True education is not lecture, it's involvement. So you got to know them. What are their needs, wants, attitudes, and perceptions? You've got to educate them. How do you want them to think, feel, and respond? Get them involved. And then the last thing you do is you serve them. And some of service is not doing. Service is sometimes giving opportunities. Some of the best ways that I could serve my family, I could serve Keegan when he comes and asks me my help for his homework, is to get him started, but then to step out of the way. Because I want him to know it. I want him to be smart. I want him to graduate from high school, go to college, get a job, but I can't just do everything for him. Our first reaction when you're serving people, if you're in these jobs of orgs, alumni associations, campus experience, whatever it is, I've got to serve, and the way I serve is I got to do. That is such a selfish mindset of serving. Serving is giving other people the opportunity, and it's letting them take the credit and have the opportunity to do something that's great. So that's customer experience. It's not rocket science. It's nothing drastic, but it starts with the idea, have I taken the time to know the person across the table from me? When's the last time you did that with a friend? When's the last time you did that with a parent before you called dad or mom and you were like, okay, what does mom and dad need, want? What are their attitudes? Well, I haven't called them in 3 months, so maybe their attitudes is, where did he go? But what are their perceptions? Well, why isn't he calling? So now when I call, I want them to think, hey, I'm really sorry that I haven't called you in 3 months. I want them to feel valued, and I want them to respond in a way that, man, I'm really thankful that my son called me today. What if we did this with people? Guys, this is so biblical. Jesus did this with his disciples. He knew them, didn't he? Now, he had the great gift of being God, but he knew them, where he could sit with a Peter, and he knew, and Peter says, I'm never going to deny you. He knew what Peter was going to do, but he knew what he wanted from Peter. He knew how he wanted Peter to think. He knew how he wanted Peter to feel loved, and he knew how he wanted him to respond. What was it? Feed my sheep. This is a biblical principle that serves people because it's all about people, but it's got to be about the mission. Got to know who you are, why you exist, and you got to know the customer.